All right, so hi everyone, Ashley Pickett here at Flower Library, going to walk you through Mometrix. It'll definitely be shorter than 30 minutes, designed that way. But it's kind of once you see a few of the tests, you've got an idea of how the whole thing works. So we'll get going here shortly. But keep in mind, you can share some of NCLS's Facebook posts to kind of get the word out to your patrons. We have cheat sheets that I have sent a couple versions to you by now for you to use in the moment with your patrons if you need to. There are bookmarks coming your way soon that we've sent off to the printer, so you can hand those off to your patrons as well with some instructions on them. And next month will be Job Now, so keep that in mind. All right, so let's go ahead and share our screen here. Okay, so we go. Hopefully everybody can see what we've got. I'm gonna go ahead and that's okay. All right, so to navigate to Mometrix, go to NCLS's ncls.org homepage. It's kind of in line on the right-hand side with all of our other online resource offerings. And scroll on down until you find Mometrix Test Prep. This is one you need your library card right off the bat. So I'm going to go ahead and enter mine in. Right. Let's see where we get here. I have some font settings built into my computer. I have really poor eyes. So it'll look a little goofy on some pages until I back it back down for you. But this is the homepage of Mometrix. And as you can see, they've kind of broken things down into categories for you. This is all test prep. So whether it's high school, whether it's post, high school work, so college, grad school, whether it's career-based, they've got things for nursing, they've got CDL prep, they've got a lot of testing built into this database for you. And I purchase nonfiction materials here at our library as well. And I love that this puts all of our test prep right at our fingertips. So often we get users in here who are looking for the same materials, right? And only one person can use a book at the same time. Not true with this database. It's simultaneous access. Did I get that right, Matt? Is that the right wording? Yes, that's what I thought. So anybody can use this database. They can use the same test materials all at the same time, and it's there for them to use with their library card. You do not have to create a separate account that I could find anyway. One thing that's important to note, the fact that this database remembers you or not as you log in successive times. So each time you log in a row, I had some trouble with that. So one time it did not remember me. One time it did. And I think that was dependent on my browser settings. So keep that in mind for your users as they're going through. They really need to do their own work in remembering where they left off, what tests they were using, what part of each test prep material they were using, and I'll show you those in a second. But it's really on the user to kind of keep track of where they are, because sometimes I found my data disappeared. Sometimes it didn't, but there's no way to create their own account. It just kind of is here, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. So there is a couple of different ways you can do this. You can, of course, use the big old search box right at the top. I'm going to go ahead and search for GED prep. And what it does is it brings up everything they have to offer with the word GED in it. You'll notice there's Canadian prep. There's, I would assume just US prep. So there's different things to offer here. I actually, with my own preference, would prefer to go in and explore through the categories that they have to offer here. So I am going to scroll down, and I believe it's under K-12, and there's a lot here. Oh, was that where they put it? Did I miss it? Nope. Uh-oh. That's okay. I'm going to go back up and just grab one from up here. Okay, so each test, if you will, is kind of broken down into multiple offerings. They may offer flashcards, and those are interactive for our users. So let me go ahead and show you some of those. Okay, so this is the GED flashcard offering. You can start all of the flashcards here, but then it's also broken down into sections for you as you scroll down through. So if there's a topic that you really want to kind of hammer out, where you need a little bit of practice in, you can focus on that topic, or you can go through all of them. And one of the things I really loved as you go through, and I got to scroll down. Uh-oh, there it is. Oh, looks a little bit different on my laptop versus my giant computer screen. You can flag a card. So say this particular question here, you weren't quite sure on, when you hit next, it takes you to the next one, of course, but you can flag that card, okay? And then you end up with a list of all your flagged cards kind of lined up beside each other. So if you get to the end of the deck and you realize, oh, there's just some topics and things that I really need to practice on, you'll see them all lined up for you, and that really helps you out. Okay, so I'm going to kind of go back through, see if it'll give me the list. Yes, career, that's where they buried the GED stuff. I always forget that. These are all of the things that they offer for GED prep, okay? Now, in addition to the flashcards, you'll see, by the way, there's that word interactive. You'll notice that there's another one they mark as interactive, and that's going to be the exam practice test questions. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on this. And this is, again, something that you can, I'm going to randomly click start here and just show you one. Okay, so it's going to load. You'll be able to kind of read through. It's going to keep a time for you. And this is an option where you can choose your answer. So I'm just going to randomly pick something, hit next. And then you can keep going through your test. You can refer back to your story above you if that's something that's a part of that section, and keep going through and hit next. And of course, I'm not going to get through all of this one today because there's 240 questions, but it would time you, let you know how long you're taking. So if your particular exam has a time limit, you'd know how far over or under you were. There's really a lot of things here that you can use. Now there's a settings panel, which I find super handy because you can increase your font sizes. You can turn off that timer if that's something that bothers you a little bit. You absolutely can. You can turn on shortcuts. I mean, there's really a lot here for you to use. If you wanted to focus on just specific sections, you can turn those on and off here on the left-hand side for this test. And again, remember, this is that interactive testing portion. Okay, and of course, to get to the end, you'd have to kind of keep answering your questions. But for now, so I can jump around to some other things to show you, I'm going to kind of back out. Okay, so some other things that they can give you for any of these exams are some non-interactive practice questions, and you'll notice these here. So let me go ahead and click into this. And you'll notice it kind of loads a little bit different, and it will look a lot different too. So I'm really going to shrink this down because it actually loads like pages of a book. Okay, so I'm going to scroll through here. It gives you some of those first few pages that you would see if you had one of the Mometrix books in front of you. Because if you weren't aware, Mometrix not only has these online offerings, but they have actual physical books as well that you could purchase. And the materials, they match. Okay, keep going here. So this chunk, it looks like it would look like a book. Aha, here we go. It is, I guess, the only interactive portion would be the fact that you can click on that table of contents and it'll jump you to a particular section, but you could print out these pages. You can't I'm clicking on the answer or trying to choose an answer, and it won't let you do that. So you would need to print. Now there is a print, there it is, it's teeny tiny. There's a little print icon here. Click on that. I have to make this bigger. Sorry, guys. There we go. They give you some instructions. So up to one time, you can print up to 30 pages at one time. And then for your total session, you have a total of 60 pages to print. So you can print, you know, this chunk of this test, this chunk of that test, and kind of add them all up together. And as long as it totals 60 pages, you're good to go. You'd have to kind of log in for a different session to print another chunk if you were over that 60 mark. And that's not something we set that I'm aware of. I think that's kind of Mometrix limits. But again, you're welcome to print, and they give you that ability as well. Okay. My caption is over. There's my cancel button. There we go. Okay, so they give you the ability to kind of change your sizes. Not only can you do that within your browser, but you can do that with this black box down here. That's all there for you as well. Okay, so I'm going to jump back out here. There we go. And then they also, for this particular test anyway, give you a prep book. When I click on that, it loads. There it goes. It loads that entire prep book for you right at your fingertips. You wouldn't have to borrow the physical book from the library. It's here electronically for you. The best part about this, though, is that it's once Mometrix has it ready to go, updated, it's here for you. It's not something that the library has to repurchase that physical book, get it ready for the shelf, and then kind of get it ready for everybody to use. It's here. It's ready to roll, which makes it much easier for us. I won't lie. Okay. So those are the kind of the big things that they provide for you for individual tests. Not every test in the Mometrix library will have those offerings for you. My family's involved with trucks and things, so I automatically jumped to this one. But you can see that the list for the CDL exam is much shorter, and that's just the way this one works. But the test for this one is only 57 questions. So if you give me a couple minutes, I can actually get you through to that results page, hopefully. I can answer them all quickly enough. I can show you what a results page will look like. And it's actually pretty neat. It gives you a lot of data to work from. And just hopefully your browser isn't built so that it's wiping everything out. And you'll have that data the next time you log in. Hopefully. If you get unlucky like I did, you're in trouble. Okay. And if you'll notice, when I scroll on my laptop, it actually will keep track of where you're at in the test as well. Over here, they turn dark blue when you answer them. I'm just randomly picking the last one for sake of saving some time. It's not a very long exam. Yeah, we're already about halfway through. Jamie says I'm doing great. Yeah. So this, as a reminder, is one of those interactive tests. This is not the one that you would be able to print. Oh, almost there. So close. Aha, no next button. That means I need to hit finish. Yep, sure, I want to finish. Quickest test I've ever taken. Okay, so what it will do is it tells you how many you got correct, how many incorrect. Ooh, oh boy. Tells you a percentage over here, and then it gives you kind of this bar graph to work off from. When you scroll down through, though, this was my favorite feature. It actually allows you to go back through and look at all of your answers. And it gives you the one that was marked correct. So oftentimes when we proctor here at our library, we do a lot of real estate exams. And this is one of the questions I get a lot is, can I go back through and see my answers? Unfortunately, no, not only am I a babysitter, I'm not affiliated with any institution whatsoever, they never give us this ability for anybody, you know, so this is something that I love. Everybody can go through, see the answers, see where they might need a little more studying, see where they're strong, you know. This is definitely one of my favorites. And then, you know, well, where's my big summary? There should be a kind of a smaller chart. Might be because I'm on a laptop, I'm not sure. Let's see, hide summary. Nope, that's not what I want. But yeah, once you do multiple tests, and if your browser remembers the information, it starts stacking them up for you. So you can kind of go through and look at yourself over time and kind of compare where you started, where you're at now. You know, it really gives you a ton of information to look at, which is fantastic. You don't get that when you have just a book in front of you. Back to the homepage. Of course, they've got some how-to videos. They have employment resources here for us to explore. And of course, there's tons and tons of tests in here. One of my favorites that we get a lot are the nursing exams, you know, and these books, I just actually went to purchase the 2024 ones. They're with the discounts, they're over $70 each. So I was really excited to know that they are offered here and I don't have to rush to buy them for next year. But there's tons. Do you have any questions? Any questions about exams that might be offered that we can search and look at the specifics? Anything I didn't touch on? I'm happy to do so. No questions?
I don't have any questions, but I didn't know much about the books that were offered in there, so that's really cool. That's awesome.
It is very neat. Yeah, I love having everything right at our fingertips. It makes my life easier. I won't lie. All right. So if nobody has any questions, you're free to go. Turn you loose. But you're absolutely welcome to reach out to myself or to Matt if you have any questions or run into any tech trouble. We're here to help. So see everybody later.
Thank you.
Bye. You're welcome.